All right, time's up. We're going to start off. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in to this session on creating a dynamic interactive dashboard of Club Excel. Like always, I'm just going to give you a few things. We're going to sound check. If everybody is able to hear me, please raise your hand and keep it raised, please. I want all the hands raised. Keep it raised. Don't put it down. I have a few more hands to go. Come on, Neil, Leel, Matt, Muhammad, Marwan, raise your hand. Sukma, raise your hand. Keep it up. Don't put it down. It's just a click. You're not raising your hand. Andy, come on, raise your hand. Khairul, if you move your mouse, you should be able to see an option to raise your hand on your bar. Okay, all right, thank you very much. So you can hear me, you can see my slide. Let's get started. I'm going to end the poll. Okay, so what is Club Excel? If anybody has joined in for the first time, okay, let's see. Could you please lower your hands, everybody? I'll lower it for you. Now, anybody joining in for the first time, please raise your hand. This is important for today's session only. All right, Julie, Graham, and Sukma. And okay, thank you. So what is Club Excel? It's basically bite-sized training. So I've seen in my experience that if you can sit through a 2-day Excel training, you get nothing out of it. Maximum, you're just bombarded with a lot of stuff. So what I've noticed is what worked with me was if I learned one thing or two things or three things at a time, and then I practice it for a whole month, I would have learned more and divided those 2 days of Excel training into, let's say, 10 months. So this is what Club Excel is, basically bite-sized learning for beginners and intermediates, pragmatic tailored learning. I understand some of you are intermediate and advanced learners, but sometimes, you know what, I mean, if you don't practice on Excel, or if you know things on doing a certain way, and there's a new way you could always learn. I always learn a new way every time. So it's pragmatic tailored learning. So today is another focused approach towards another part of Excel. It is recorded for later reference. So if you miss out on anything, now this is important to tell you that today there might be a few learners here, depending on what sort of an Excel setup you have. You may not be able to do a lot of stuff that we're going to do today, or you may not have those options activated. Now, unfortunately, because of the limit of time, I'm unable to go into each one of you and sort out your Excel software. So if you please get stuck, don't worry about it. Just hang on. I'm recording this session. After the session is done, we can always get in touch. I can sort that issue out for you, and you can watch the recording and do it later. Okay, does that make sense? Can I get a raise of hand with that, please? If you're okay with that, thank you very much. Today we have a lot of interactive audience today. Okay, so we always deal with a problem and an issue in Excel. We start off with, hey, this is my problem. How do I solve it with Excel? And today our issue is how do we make meaning from raw data? Now, those of you who, Graham, Julie, and others who've just joined in for the first time in a Club Excel session, please note that we've been building up in the last few sessions onto today's session. So the tables, the pivot tables, the slices, the formatting, the cleaning, all of those things we've been doing. And today, this is how we've reached today. So if you've missed out on anything, I hope you have an intermediate level of understanding of those things. If not, don't worry about it. Just hang in there. Watch the other recordings that we already have on the SharePoint page. Come back to this recording later, and it'll all make sense. So don't worry about a thing. From raw data, the process is fairly simple. You cleanse the data. You make sure you have very clear queries that what do you want to do with it. You fill out the missing parts of the data, and then you create a dashboard which helps you take decisions. Now, if you do not have an intermediate level of understanding of formatting, tables, pivot tables, slices, or charts, If any one of those things are missing out, which we have already covered in the last part of our last few sessions of Club Excel, then you need to stop and just watch. Okay, you need, if you can, just stay up with us and practice with us. If you ever get stuck, don't worry about it, just hang in there, just watch whatever you can, and then later on it will make sense once you have watched these trainings. So is there anybody who has no understanding of any one of these items? Please raise your hand, so I would have an idea. Okay, I think we all do. So there's nobody in here who has a lack of understanding of these things, right? So today we are going to talk about dashboards, and we're going to talk about not only just a dashboard, but we are going to talk about a dynamic interactive dashboard. It means it changes when you select, and you can play around with the dashboard. Okay, so so let me just show you what I mean by that. Okay, I'm just going to bring in here. So from this data, we are going to move on to something like this. Okay, it'll be interactive. You can select the state, you can select the month, you can play around with it, you can select the total sales. So if you like it, raise your hand. All right, thank you. So from that data to this, this is called a dashboard, an interactive dashboard. We're going to move on to this, and we're going to do all the processes that it takes today. So we might run a little bit over time. If again you have other things you have to do, commitments, then you can please watch the videos we're recording later. So today we're going to we're going to clean the data, set the queries, set the pivots and slices, and then the dashboard. It's a fairly simple process. Look, it looks very difficult and glamorous, but it is fairly easy. It is nothing, no big deal at all. Okay, so clean the data, set the queries right, clean it again if you have to, pivots and slices and dashboards, straight line, no issues at all. Okay, so let's get started. If you can please open up your Excel file, example file 9, version 1. I have attached it on your meeting request. If everybody has opened it up, please raise your hand so I know I can move forward. Thank you very much. Keep it raised. Do not lower your hands, otherwise I don't get to see who hasn't opened it up. I want at least more than half of the attendees to have the Excel file opened up. Okay, if you would, I'll show you. It's on the meeting request. If you would go into meeting request, an Excel file is already attached to it. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's start cleaning the data. The Excel file that I've sent across to you looks something like this. We have, let's see what we have here. We have sum of order line, customer name, state, customer PO number, creation user ID, HR full name, order date, due date, brand of that which we sold, total sum of quantities ordered, unit price, total order of sale. So this is what we have in our data. Let's go step by step. First off, I do not like headings. These headings, and I'm going to tell you why, because when we create pivots and you have loads of headings, you're going to have a problem. Okay, so first off, I don't want customer name, I just want customer. Make it easier, make it simpler. Okay, customer. Similarly, state is fine. HR full name doesn't really make sense, so I'm going to put sales rep. Okay, order date is fine, brand is fine, and sum of line and value, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to say total sales. Okay, I'm just cleaning up the headings so it makes sense when we are in the pivot tables. Okay, all right. So now let's talk about our queries. I'm just going to bring in the query part. So all of these things are already done for you. The font is okay. The columns are done. Headings, we've changed it. Colors and grid lines. Now, as we've spoken before, I don't like grid lines. So I'm just gonna go into view and really remove the grid lines. So right now, all the grid lines are gone. Okay. And we are going to now talk about what do we want out of this dashboard. Okay, let's do that. So what are our queries? What do we want? This is very, very critical if you want to start making your dashboard. Look, today we are going to take an example of sales, but by the end of this session, I'm going to talk about if even if you're not working in sales, if you're working in HR, your operations, pricing, marketing, wherever you're working, you can make your own dashboard, and that is going to be something that, you know, you do all the work, you keep doing all the work, but then it's numbers are what you need to put your output out and make decisions on it. So today our queries are fairly simple. First, we want sales by state. I want a chart which shows sales by state. Okay. Second, I want sales by month, and I should be able to manage it by state as well. So I want sales by month, as well as I want to play around with state. The third one is I want top 10 sales reps of all time. Then I should be able to slice it by month, and I should be able to slice it by state. Okay, so I'm just going to work with 3 queries. Does that make sense? Could you please raise your hand and keep it raised? I lower it for you. I have the admin access to lower your hands. So keep your hands raised. I want at least 60, 70, 80% people to have your hands raised. All right, Sherry, Tanti, Neil, Mohammed, Marwan, you're not raising your hands. If you could just move your mouse around, there's an option to raise your hands. Okay, thank you. So let's get on. These are 3 queries. Let's bring the data back. Here we go. This is our data. Now, the 3 queries are sales by month. So do we have a month here? We do not have a month here. Okay. How do we get the month here? See the order date? We're going to take this order date, right click here, insert right next to it. Okay. We're going to say month, enter. Then we're going to see what do we want out of this. Now, first to get, if you remember from the last session, we talked about flash fill. Remember that? Control E, flash fill. Now for that, we're going to use that. But for that, we need to convert this into a proper format. Right now, let's see what the format is. It's very important. We're going to format cell. And right now it's showing this as a format. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this into, let's try this one. Okay. And we're going to drag it, just double. How did I do that? Just come here, double click it, it'll go down. So you have the month here. Yeah. Now, if I write July here, and if I press Control E, it is artificial intelligence. What it does is it knows that I've taken July from here, and then it takes all the months. So now I have my months here. Okay. So my months are done. So let's go back to our queries. Sales by, so I need sales, I need state, I need month, I need state, I need sales reps, month and state. So I think I have everything. I have the state, sales rep, month, and I have the total sales. Okay. Now, all of the others I am going to hide because I don't need them. And they're just creating a distraction for me. I'm not going to delete them. I'm going to hide them. I can bring them up later. I think I'm going at a speed. So if I'm going a little faster, feel free to raise your hand and let me know. I'm going faster so I can slow it down. Okay, we have a few people who think I'm going fast. So I'm just going to slow down because I believe some people are working from home and they may not be having two screens. So I have created this column. I have done a flash fill with regards to the date. So I took right next to K, I created L, created the month. I wrote, I have a question, let me see. The order date has not changed correctly, please check. Order date has not. Okay, so Suzanne, you're right. I'm not interested in the year because I know what you're saying. The year has not changed properly. I'm more interested in the month. Okay, so for now, for current sake, I'm just gonna take the month, and I don't need the others right now. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Is that okay? If you could respond to your question and let me know if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let's move on. So it's great that we have some advanced level users sitting on the session because it really helps us get on track. Right now, I'm not going to go into what Suzanne said because this is what we need, and we're going to work on this. So this is all the things that we need right now. Perhaps not even this, but we will, and not this, but we're just going to keep it for another explanation. Okay. So let's get started. We have these now. Now, if you remember, these are just Excel ranges. We are going to convert this into a table. And why do we do that? Because this is a huge data and table just makes it easier. So by clicking anywhere on this, we click on Control T and it asks me this range. I say, yes, my table has a header. Okay. And now it's converted into a header, into a table, sorry. So I have a table now. It has tabular properties. I can go into table design and change the name of this table to sales. Okay. So I have a table called sales. Now this is much more cleaner now. It makes sense to go forward now and do our pivots. Now the second part is pivots. Let's go back. I will keep going back to queries and back. So sales by state. Okay. Let's do this one first. Insert pivot table. Okay. Now, if you remember, I said the headings play a very important role. This is why you would have gotten lost had it said sum of unit underscore something something underscore something. So the first query is sales by state. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take total sales. Sorry, I'm going to take state and I'm going to take sales. Okay, sorry, this is total sales. So I have a sum of total sales. Now I'm going to be creating this map, and there are a few things I'm going to talk about here which are going to be unique because we are going to be creating a map. Okay, so usually what happens is you can go into insert and you can click on the map and you can select them. It'll auto create it for you. It's easy. But because this is a pivot, it does not create it on a pivot table. So if you directly create it from a pivot, it would not create it. Okay. So what do? I just go on the right side. I copy this. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a mirror image of this, sorry, an image of this. So I'm just pressing is equal to and this. So it just copies it here. And then I drag it. So all of these 6 are copied here, 7. And then I do the same thing. So all of these numbers are also copied here. Important to know is, this is important, guys. Please remove the grand total. I'll tell you why later. If you could do that, please. Okay. Now, let me open up something else on the side. Okay, so here we are going to do one more thing before we go ahead. Okay, let me just go ahead and show you why. And then you will select these. You've connected these to these. Yeah, you'll select these. You go into map, insert, map, and fill map. As soon as you click on this, it'll give you a map which looks something like this. So if everybody has gotten this map, please raise your hand. We'll just wait up until 60 or 70% of people have done it with me. Okay. Still have a few to go. Please do not lower your hands. Raise your hands if you've reached this part, please. All we did was took this and put a formula of is equal to this. So it just put this out of the pivot table. We dragged it. So these are all a reflection of whatever is here will come here. Whatever is here will come here, but it is out of the pivot table. Okay. And then we just selected this. We went into insert. And when we went into maps, selected the fill map, and this is what it gave us. Okay, so half of you are with me. What about the rest? Can you put in a question if there is anything I can help with? Because I do hope that we can have about 60 to 70% people with me. Okay, could not get Australia map. Okay, Dinesh, okay, so we're having a few people who are saying did not get the Australia map. I think that is because you haven't selected all of this first. You have to select all of these. It has to take Australia map. Yeah, you got the world because you probably, are you using, Dinesh, I'm going to allow you to talk. Wait, this is important, guys. I apologize because we need to make sure that most of us are together. Okay, so Dinesh, you can talk right now. Did you select all of this?
Yes, I did select all of this and just gone there. And then when I click on that, you know, that fill map thing, chart coming as world.
Is any other part of the world highlighted in blue?
No.
Okay, tell me, were you able to reflect this directly from here?
Yes.
Did you remove the grand total?
Just let me have a look. Yes, grand total is on this.
And then you had these numbers also. Did you select this completely and just this and inserted the map?
Yeah.
Okay, so for now we'll just let it be.
Yeah.
And maybe we can connect with anybody who has not had a map, Australia map. We'll connect with you separately. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll go back to our session. Okay. So right now, most of us have gotten this. I'm just going to quickly change this sales by state. Okay. And then I'm going to remove this series. I don't need it. I am going to add, so if I select this, it's chart, go to chart design, add element, data labels, and show. Okay. Select these numbers, right click on it. Okay, everybody with me so far? Please raise your hand. Yes, Joshua, it works for all the countries. It just takes the names of these states, because I've done the correct spelling. It just automatically takes it and does it. Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to right click on this number. Okay, and I'm going to say format data labels. On the right side, this opens up. I'm going to go into numbers, click on the category, select the number, remove the decimal places to 0, and done. Again, I selected the number, I right clicked on it, I said format data labels. This thing opened up. I went into number. This was a general. I said number. I removed the 2 and made it into 0. And then I just clicked randomly anywhere. If you're with me, Please raise your hand. Thank you. Okay, let's go forward. You can put your hands down. Thank you. Now this one part is done. Okay, this one section is done, but I should be able to do it by state. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go I'm going to click on this chart. I'm going to go into insert, and then I'm going to click on slicer. Okay, it gives me nothing. It's all right. I'm going to go here. I'm going to try this. Nothing. Okay, I need to click on this pivot table. Click in slicer, in insert slicer, and it'll give me all the headings. Yeah, and I'm going to select state. As soon as I do that, it gives me a really nice slicer, and it says all the states. Okay, but what was my query? Going back to the dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to do it by month. Okay, let me go back, undo, delete this slicer, just select it and delete it. So I'm going to do by month. So I select the pivot table, go into insert, go into slicer, and I select month. So now I have all the months here. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's a scroll bar. So it gives me all the months, but there's a scroll bar to it. I don't like it. So if I select this, there's a ribbon which appears called slicer. And there's an option of columns. I will increase it to 3. And then I will reduce the size of this slicer such that the scroll bar is gone. If you're with me, please raise your hand. Thank you. So this part of the dashboard is done. We're going to leave it here, and we're going to call this sheet state sales by month. Okay. It's important that we go step by step and we keep it clean. Now, remember, I have a question here. My months have repeats, Jeff. Jeff, I'm working on the exact same data as you are, and I think there may have been a misstep on the way to this. Okay. Yes, Julie, you need to accept the Bing access. Okay. All right. Okay. So I have another question. Yep, Luis, I'll do that. So the reason why we removed the grand total was, if I select the months, now if you notice that September does not have anything from NT, Northern Territory, that's why it goes gray. Okay, if we had, let's say, let me put the grand total back. Do not do it. I'm just showing it to you. If I put the grand total fresh, sometimes you just lose out on little things. So if the grand total was here, it would have put the grand total here, and then this would have created an error. That's why, because this is a reflection of this, that's why we removed the grand total, and which goes to just shows that grand total is missing out from there. Okay. I have a question. Yes, thank you, Jeff. You can go back and try it out. Otherwise, I would suggest you hold on to it and just go with the flow and go back to it later once you have the recording with you. Okay, I have another question. My months are just blank. Jen, again, there is something you may have missed out on the way. Just stick to this one, just have a look at it, go back to it later, and maybe I can connect with you and we can do it later one-on-one, okay? So just have a look at it. I'm just working on the exact same data as you are. Maybe some of your Excel settings are off. Okay. Yes. So let's move forward. So this is why we removed the grand total. We are done with this. Let's go back. What is our second query? Our second query is sales by month by state. Sorry, this was okay. So our second query is a very simple query, sales by month. So okay, this is going to be, let me check. Yeah, this is going to be sales by month by state. So we're going to come on to this again, our main sheet. We're going to go into insert, pivot table. Okay. And then I'm going to set in the month. And I'm going to set in the sales, total sales right here. So I have the month and the total sales. I'm going to select it. And I'm going to say insert and line chart. Okay. If you're with me, please raise your hand. Perfect, thank you. Now, once I have this chart, this is showing me a total sales as per the month. I'm going to do a little bit of fidgeting around with the chart. First, I'm going to delete this. Then I'm going to say sales by month. I'm going to increase the size of it. And usually what I do is I don't like the axis. I did just delete the axis. I selected the axis and deleted it. Select the chart, go into design, add an element, go into data label, and go into above. Okay. Same thing. I don't like the numbers like this. I select the numbers, right click, format data labels, go into numbers, convert them into numbers, 0. Okay. And click anywhere, done. So you have a beautiful looking chart with just the numbers. There is nothing to distract you. If you feel that something is, the line is overcoming on the numbers, it's coming over on top of it, you can just move around these by just selecting it twice. It'll select just one number and you can move it around. With me, raise your hand, please, and we can move forward. Perfect. Good job. Very good job. Thank you. Awesome. So this was easy, but we're not done on this one. If you can select back on the pivot table, just click here and go into insert and give a slicer for me, please. And here, I want you to give me a state. Select the state. Click OK. So now you have this slicer right next to this chart. So if you select on each slicer, it changes as per the sales of that particular state. And now listen to this carefully, okay? See this part? If you click on this, it clears the filter. This cross right here, it clears the filter, okay? So if you selected anything and you want to go back to the whole country, just click on this and it'll come back to normal. Easy, raise your hand, let's move forward. Perfect, thank you very much. Okay, so we will change the name of this sheet. We will call it sales by month and state. So this is state sales by month. This is month sales by state. Okay, we'll just stick to that. So now we have two parts of our dashboard ready to go. Okay, let's do our third part. And what is our third part? Our third part is top 10 sales rep by month and state. So we'll have two slices here, and we'll have the top 10 sales rep. Now this is slightly bit different than what we did with the others. Again, there are 100,000 ways of doing this, and we have some advanced learners, and I'm going to talk about one of them later, who's already done the dashboard, and it was just amazing how that dashboard looks. Super impressed. So we're going to come back to this data. What do we need? We need sales reps, and we need them top 10, and we need them by state and by month. Okay, so first off, what is our base? Our base is sales reps. So we're going to go into insert, pivot table. Okay, our pivot is here. We're going to take our sales rep. Where is our sales rep? This is why we change the headings. Yeah, so sales rep is here, and then we go into sales, total sales. We go into here. So sales reps, total sales, done. Okay, now let me just go back to mine. Okay, so we have it here. These are the total, all of our sales reps and their total sales, and we're going to create a little bit of a bar chart. Okay, so if you can click, but before that, remember, we only need top 10s. So how do we get the top 10s? We select this, and we go into, I think there is the data. We go into data, and okay, so we click anywhere here, not on the heading, anywhere here, go into data, and then go into sort, and say largest to smallest. Okay, is everybody with me? This was a little critical that we do it together. Can I have more hands raised, please? A little bit more. Okay, thank you. Perfect, we can go forward. So now we have Mr. Hugh Jackman leading the sales, and I'm a little finicky about these, so I'm just going to change this to, I'm going to put it as number, and I'm going to add the decimal, remove the decimal, so it looks nicer, cleaner, easier. Yeah. And finance people know what I'm talking about, right, Suzanne? Would you agree with me? 100%. So if you have clean data and clean ways of doing it, it'll always be better. So now we have, let's talk about top 10s. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the top 10 that we want, but not necessarily, because when we are going to insert our slicer for the month as well as for the state, it may change, right? So let's do this. We're going to, again, just like we did in the first one, we're going to mirror this onto here somewhere. So we're going to say is equal to, and we're going to select Hugh Jackman. So this is now here. And we're going to just drag it to the 10. So we have 10. Let's see. Yes, the count is 10. So I don't need to count it one by one. And I could just drag it here. So all the sales numbers are here. Again, I can just convert it into a sales number. So I have these top 10 here. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to remove the grand total because that could affect everything. So I have these and these. The reason, I'll explain it to you later. Let's start off. I'm going to select this, and here I'm going to insert a bar chart. And which bar chart do I want? I want something like this. Is everybody with me so far? Raise your hand, please. Beautiful. Let's go forward. Again, as I said, we are going to go a bit over time. So those who have any other commitments, please feel free to drop out. But if you can stay on, that'll be great. So now this is the chart we got, but I don't like it. Why is that? It is because I want Hugh to be on the top because he has the bigger number. And how do I do that? I click on this, right click on it, and I say format chart area. This opens up on the right side. I go into chart options. vertical category access, because this is vertical category access. Here I have these 4 options. I go into the chart option, I go into the axis option, and here is the categories in reverse order. Click, done, voila. With me, everybody? A few more hands. Okay, awesome. And I'm just going to change the title right here. Top 10 sales reps. Okay. There's one more thing that I like to do is I change that, or let it be too confusing. Let be. So this is the top 10 reps. Okay. But why did we have to mirror it here? This is where it comes in. Okay. So if I click here and if I go into insert slicer and if I select state and I will select month. Okay, so I have these 2 slices right here which are going to interact with this chart. Now watch, Hugh Jackman leading, February still leading, April still leading, June, De Niro is coming. You get the point? So because I'm selecting slices, slices interacting here, and only the first value comes onto here, which then feeds into this chart, and then the chart is giving me a dynamic sort of a linkage to the whole thing. This is a shortcut to it. So if you are okay with it, what I just did, if you understand it, if you like it, please raise your hand. Perfect, thank you. I have a question. Let's go. Why do we have to take the data out of pivot table? Luis, I hope I explained it to you just now, that if you go into Northern Territory, Hugh Jackman does not work in the Northern Territory. That's why only Barry works in Northern Territory. So that's why if we had, Hugh Jackman would have then come right on this chart. Okay, so that's why we mirror it so that only the top 10s, whichever would ever come, they are here. So June, South Australia, May, Tasmania, just Will Smith, Western Australia, let's go into Victoria. So we have Matthew McConaughey leading, and yeah, okay. Yes, Luis, I know it's okay, but you might face problems when you go into more detail, okay? So that's why I've added a little bit of a more step to it. All right, so we have these 3 sets all ready, okay? I'm gonna change this and say top 10 sales reps. Doesn't matter how long, as long as it makes sense to anybody who watches my Excel sheet, okay? Let's go forward. All right. Let's add a new sheet and call it dashboard. Here, I'm going to go into view and remove the guidelines. I am going to select this chart, paste it here, Control C, Control V. If you're getting this, just click on it and cross it. It'll go away. I will go back. I will do the slicer. Copy, Control C, Control V. So now I have the slicer. I can place it here, wherever. Okay, let me just bring this down a little bit. And the slicer here. Go back to the second one. Now, instead of going back and forth, I can press Control and select both of them together. So select this first, Control, select this also, Control C, dashboard, Control V here. So now I have my, I can just drag it. I want this longer, can make it longer. Okay, easy. And let's go on to the top 10 sales rep. I'll select this, Control, select this, Control, select this, copy, Control C, and Control V, everything is here. So I'm just going to adjust it one by one. Put this here, and I will make it smaller. Now I want this, I'm going to go into, select this, go into slicer. I want this horizontally, all the months. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to convert the columns into 12. Okay, so now I have something like this. So I'll open it up and it'll show me the months. If it's not showing, I can go home. Okay, I need to increase the width of it more, slightly more, and now I have visibility of all the months. So I can increase the size of this to match with this length, and I can put the state on the side. I can match this from below, increase this, and this is nothing important. It's just I'm a little finicky about adjusting stuff. So now, just to look at it, I can put in, this is showing me the numbers by state. I can clear the filter. This is my total sales. It's showing me all the reps now. It's showing me New South Wales, Northern Territory, Queensland, South Australia, clear all. Okay, this is showing me sales by month. I can move into select each one and do it this way. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do a little bit of, so everybody with me, raise your hand, please. Beautiful. Oh, this is lovely. Thank you so much. If you can select, now I'm gonna just do some cosmetics. If you could select this, please, go into format and shape outline, no outline. Do the same with this, no outline. I will press Control, select everything, and do it together. Shape format. Oh, it doesn't let me. It's too bad. Worth trying, right? So slices don't go, only the charts do. Slices, you can't take the lines off. Well, you can. We'll try a different way. So I've removed all the lines from the charts. Now I'm going to fix the slicer. Yeah. So I'm going to click here. Well, I can select any of these designs. Let's say we'll go with this one, or we can go with this one. Okay, or we can stick to this one, whichever one you like. I created my own. This is a little bit of detailed one. I'll do it next year, hopefully, to create your own slices. So this is one I designed it myself. How do you do it? Well, it's another story. We'll just stick to this one. Looks blue theme, looks nice. Let's just stick to that. Now here I lay again a little bit of a thing. I don't like lines too hard, so I'm just going to select these lines, format, go into shape outline, and I'm going to select the lightest of gray. So the lines are still there, but you can see your data. Okay, sorry, I'm a bit finicky out there. So now we have a good looking dashboard. Okay, we can do all of the cosmetics. I can insert the Motion logo here. I can put in the heading here, but ideally you have a really nice looking interactive dashboard. One shot, you have all your information on the go. That November you had a lot of sales spike in South Australia. Why was that? Let's go back into South Australia. Hugh Jackman and Jack Nicklaus and Joaquin Phoenix did a brilliant job. And this was, let's see all the other states in November, and South Australia was okay, but New South Wales did a better job. So let's go there and let's go here. So you could do all of those things and answer all of those queries right on here. And this is how you create a dashboard. Did you like that? We are not done yet. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So we are not done. And this is the best part. So we're done with the dashboard now. But there's one thing that we want to learn today, which we always do. If you can lower your hands, please. Thank you. One thing that we will learn today And the shortcut is not necessarily a shortcut, but today we're going to learn something which probably some beginner and intermediate users have always heard about, but they are a little bit scared on what it really is. Okay, so today our shortcut of the month is a macro. That's right. We're going to do a macro and we're going to do it really, really fast. It's no science, it's no big deal. And if you're excited about macros, please raise your hand. All right. So don't worry about it. It's a very simple thing. Okay. It looks complicated. It is not. Okay. Let me assure you that. So what do I mean by macro? It has simple 3 steps. You're going to record a macro, you're going to assign a macro, and you're going to run a macro. That's it. That is it. It's no biggie. Right, let's go. Let's do the macro quickly. Now, what do I need the macro for? Remember, I have to clear this out every time. See these clear options. Now, I want insert. I will create a button right here, and I will call it refresh. What I want is I should be able to click this and it should refresh the whole dashboard instead of going into this and this and this and this, or maybe miss out on something important. And that is where macro is going to help me out. So before we go ahead, if you do not have the developer tab on the top, follow me, please. Go into file, go into options. Where is it? It's not opened up. File and options. Okay, somewhere hidden. It's not showing. Let me get it. Showed it. Okay, I don't know why. And this is how technology works, because I'm working on maybe multiple screens. Let me try it one more time. Right here. Okay. File, options, still not showing me. So the idea is, if you would go into options, I don't know why it's not showing me, but if you go into options, it will show you display and customize ribbon, and you should be able to get that. Okay, I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem to be showing me. Let me get out of this slideshow mode and let's see if I can do it again. So options, still not showing me. There's some problem with my side, but the idea is, if you get this, all you need to do is customize your ribbon and get this. Okay, let's try if we can right click on it, customize ribbon. Yeah, customize ribbon. Again, my pop-ups don't seem to be, it's somewhere down here, but I can't get them. It's okay. Okay, wait. Yeah, it's not coming. So the idea is to just watch. It's very, very simple. It's not rocket science. You go into developer, you click record macro. Okay, it's first step, record macro. It'll ask you what name do you want to put in. Say refresh. What shortcut key do you want to put in? Press D. So it'll give you Control Shift D is my shortcut. And you can write a description. I don't want to. Press OK. Oh, I already have a macro. Okay. So I will delete the macro. Okay, you don't need to worry about this one. So I will record a macro, call it refresh, and place a D here. So Control Shift D. Okay, so there you go. So my macro is done, and it started recording. Okay, so the recording is, I click here, I click here, I click here, and I click here, but it did not work. Why? Because they were not filtered. So let me just put them in a filter, all of them, and repeat the process. I'll just use another name, refresh 2, and this time I'll just place H. Okay. So I can't use numbers, so I put refresh WW. Okay, so now it's recording. And because I have these selected, I can go here, 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 and here. And I say stop recording. So my macro is recorded. These are the action that Excel is going to take. Now, remember this button, right click on this button. It says assign macro. That's it. That's the second step. You assign the macro to refresh WW and you're done. That was it. That was the macro. So all you need to do, if you are working on your data and you are here, all you need to do is come here, click, your macro is set, all done. Did you like that? Please raise your hand if you did. I hope you did. Yeah, it's very, very simple. Look, it's no big science, rocket science to it. I have a question. I'm going to read that out. Nope, I don't have a new question. Okay, so yeah, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the shortcut of what we wanted to use. I'm just going to have a quick poll right here. We are interested to know whether this sessions like these are working. And while you vote, I'm just going to show you something that was submitted before the session by David. David has submitted this dashboard. He created this dashboard by himself, and look at this. This is the dashboard he created all by himself, which is amazing. It has everything linked to the gross margin, sales profit, and you can have your sales rep, sales, everything. This was done by David Marr, and which is awesome. So that's our session for today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you got something out of it. And if you weren't able to get something fixed on your Excel, we can hook up later and I can show it to you. But ideally, Excel is there to help you save time, money, and effort. Now, if you are working for anything, let's say I'm working in training, okay, I can have trainings, I can have participants, I can have the number of hours spent, I can have webinars, e-learnings, everything that you do can be converted into numbers. You can have your own personal dashboard. You can have your home budget dashboard. Okay, where is your money going into? All you need is that data from your credit card company, which is on your PDF version, which I can show you in Fight Club on how to convert it from PDF to Excel. But dashboards are the thing. Right now, BI is being used in the business, but if you don't have a BI access, you don't want to go into that much detail. It's fairly simple. Clean your data, create your charts and pivots, put it in a dashboard. It's forever. Play around with it, make decisions and understand, and you can even report to your managers. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for going a little bit over time. And that is it. Please send in your feedback. See you in the next session. Goodbye.